Oh my God, it's 21 pages. And that's just one document out of 10? I'm not gonna do this today. Nah, I'm good. If you've been in this position before, I completely understand. Reading government documents is by far the most time-consuming, difficult task, mainly because the documents are long. They contain a lot of technical jargon, and in most cases, you have to sit down for hours reading through all the pages just to understand it. But fear not, today I'm going to have a solution that will make it extremely easy for you to break down these government contracts. So let me show you how. So as I was doing my searches on SAM Search, I found few opportunities that I thought were really good for my business. Searching for grease removal services or grease services in general. And I found this opportunity, but what piqued my interest was this one, a grease trap maintenance. Now, what I saw is that with the posted date, this one posted 4 months ago and is due in 8 months. And also with the AI generated summary, I get an idea of what this contract is about. So I know that the Air Force is seeking contractors for grease trap maintenance at this location with a performance period from January 25th to January 24th, 2030. And there's information about a site visit as well. So what I'd like to do is click on this, and before I go and read the long description and all of these attachments, what I'd like to do first is actually summarize them. So I'm going to go ahead and summarize some of these attachments. And as you can see, with each one of these, we're getting an AI generated summary of the document. So I know what the document is about and what it's talking about and what are the details in it for each one of them. So this way, before I click and download a long document like this one, for example, is 42 pages. Before I do that, I'd like to get a summary of it before I download it and read a long document. But that's just the first step. What I like to do next is actually use Ask Sam Search AI. Now, what this will do, it will have context of all of the information of the solicitation, including the description, the attachments, so I could ask it questions and break down the solicitation with ease. So I have a cheat sheet that I use. I'll have it linked in the description that I use it to analyze these government contracts. So what I'd like to use is I'd like to say, summarize the key sections, including the solicitation number, type of contract, statement of work, period of performance, and deliverables. And as you can see, I'm getting either the solicitation number, the type of contract, it's a firm fixed price, and then I'm getting details about the statement of work with document that is the source where it's getting this information from. I also asked about the period of performance, and I'm told that it's between January 25th, 2025 and January 24th, 2026, with options for additional years detailed up to July 24th, 2030. And then here I'm getting also more information about what I need to be doing. So what I usually do is I dwell more on these. So I could say, give me more information about the statement of work. My goal is to get as many information before I go to my next question. So here I'm getting more information about the scope of work, the grease trap handling, the service scheduling, the cleanup and reporting, disposal locations, and quality control and compliance. Now, once I'm satisfied and I know what this opportunity is about, I now can make bid no bid decision. Do I want to pursue this further or do I want to stop here? Now, if I want to pursue this further, what I usually do is I go to my next question, which is actually before that, I'd like to know if there's any deadlines or site visit information, because this information usually is hidden in some of these attachments, specifically the site visit information. So here we're getting more information about the deadlines, what deadlines for work, when you have to notify the contracting officer. And then we asked about site visit information, and then it mentioned that there's a pre-contract site visit on July 10th and 11th of 2024. And then we are getting more information about the site visit in these buildings. Now, let's say I want to bid on this. What I could do is I could ask about the evaluation details. So I'm going to ask it to break down the evaluation criteria, terms and conditions from the government solicitation document. So as you can see here, we're getting the factors that are important to the agency. So the most important factor is the price, because we get here that it's the lowest price technically acceptable. So that's a very important information for me to know from the get-go. Then the factor one is the price. As we mentioned, the total evaluated prices will be calculated by multiplying the proposed unit prices for each contract line item number by their respective quantities. And then the technical approach is also important. So I have to give a really competitive price, while maintaining a strong technical approach. And then here I see the general conditions, safety environment requirements, quality assurance, and security requirements. I could ask about each one of these if I wanted to, but I'm just showing you here an example. Now, what I'd like to ask next is I would like to ask about any pricing structure or terms of payment mentioned if any of this information is available. In some cases, they give details about the pricing, the terms and conditions of the payment, but in some cases they don't. So I always want to know this information ahead of time. So we know that the contract is a firm fixed price, and then that there's a quarterly cleaning for the period of performance, and then which quantity of 4, monthly maintenance is 12, and then terms of payments, the payments will be processed by wide area workflow system, which allows for electronic submissions of payment request and receiving reports. That's good. The contractor must submit payment requests using various document types depending on the nature of the line items. I was able to get this information with ease, and I'm switching between subjects easily because the AI is pulling that information from me instead of me going through each one of these documents one by one and reading to find this information. Now, let's say I understand the initial analysis, I evaluated the information of the government solicitation. Now I want to see what are the submission requirements. So what I'm going to ask is detail the instructions for the offer provided in the government solicitation. And we're getting here submission guideline. So we're getting what the offerer must submit in their proposal, the proposal format, so they should include detailed technical capability statement. We're getting deadline for offers, proposal validity, and then we are getting here more information about what we asked in changes in solicitation. It also mentions here that there's contact information for clarification. In case you want to clarify any information, you can reach out to the point of contact. Now I want to take it to the next step and ask if there's a format or method required for submitting the proposal, including any electronic submission guidelines. So here we're getting information that the submission format should be the format outlined in the specified in the performance work statement. I will ask more information about this. And also here we're getting the electronic submission guidelines, and here are the instructions for submission. So they should include acknowledgement of any amendments to the solicitation as part of their submission. And also here we have the deadline compliance. And just like that, I was able to get all the information I want from all of these documents without having to read all of them. Let me show you the number of documents I went through. So I was able to get all of this information in 5 minutes without having to download and read hundreds of pages. I was able to have a friendly conversation with AI. I broke down all the initial requirements. I broke down the guidelines and also the evaluation details and the submission requirements in 5 minutes. I didn't have to read all of these documents, and I also found it extremely easy with the AI generated summary to see that this is a good opportunity for me. So we went from nothing to finding an opportunity, breaking it down with ease, summarizing all the attachments in less than 5 minutes. Now, the next day, I can go to the next step, which is generate a proposal. But instead of spending hours reading and reading and reading, I was able to do this with ease. And obviously, you don't have to stick to my cheat sheet. You can ask as many questions as you want, and you can have threads, and you can go on with the conversation. If you see any detail that you would like to get more information about, you can ask for more details. This will make it very easy to break down government contracts. This doesn't have to be specific about the opportunity. You could ask it, for example, let's say you have a subcontractor. You could say, draft an email to my subcontractor pitching this contract to them. As you can see here, it drafted an email that I could send to my subcontractor with details of the opportunity with ease. So it doesn't have to be specific to the opportunity. You can ask it to do things, you can ask it to summarize things, and so on. You can try this out for yourself. Get samsearch.co. You will have access to hundreds and hundreds of government contracts on federal, state, grants, SBIR, STTR. You'll be able to schedule queries like this so the AI would do searches for you. And then once you find a solicitation, it will make it extremely easy for you to break it down. So you don't have to read long documents